is a mob of lawless thugs beating up on an innocent person, and it's disgusting. And I hope every single one of those people who engage in violence is prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And they will be. They will be so long as law enforcement in the state of Ohio takes their job seriously. I know Dave Yost cares a lot about these things. But yeah, I actually, you're right. Bertie did send me a clip of this, and we talked a little bit about it. I don't know the full context. I don't know how the fight started. But the one part that I saw that was really gruesome is you had a grown man who sucker punched a middle-aged woman. And where I come from, at least, when you have a grown man who sucker punches a middle-aged woman, that person ought to go to jail for a very long time. And frankly, he's lucky there weren't some better people around, because they would have handled it themselves. But if they're not going to handle it, the cops in Cincinnati, the law enforcement, you've got to prosecute people. We've had way too much lawlessness on the streets of great American cities. How many of you all have wanted to go to downtown Akron or downtown Canton or downtown Columbus for a meal, but you're worried because the local authorities in these big cities have allowed lawlessness to run wild? We have got to make great American cities safe again for families and children. If you were to take your wife or your children out for a meal, you shouldn't be worried about street violence. And the only way to destroy that street violence is to take the thugs who engage in that violence and throw their asses in prison.
What's up? What's up out there, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope you guys are doing well out there on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday. I'm doing well myself. Well, that was J.D. Vance, speaking about the so-called infamous Cincinnati brawl that took place back here probably about 3-4 weeks ago. You understand? And he said that there's far too much violence going on in American cities across America, or what have you. And thugs should be, locked up. Other words, hey, I agree with that. They need to be found. But these thugs is going out jumping people, and their asses should be locked up. I agree with him about that, but something tells me that he don't have the same energy for the situation that took place here in Simi Valley, Las Vegas, not Las Vegas, but Los Angeles, here last Friday at a Regal Cinema, where you had this young teenager right here. His name is Michael Robinson. He went out with a friend, to enjoy a movie and what have you, when he was all of a sudden the target of a group of racist teenagers. You see what I'm saying? That actually jumped him. You see what I'm saying? And they were hurling racial slurs as they did it, and they're actually looking into the situation as a hate crime. And hey, if you're shouting racial slurs, while pummeling someone, that's of a different race, then of course it is a hate crime. But like I said, I don't believe that J.D. Vance in Ohio will have that same kind of energy. I really don't. You see what I'm saying? With that situation that took place in Cincinnati, I'll just say that. But what I want us to do is check out the entire situation that took place, and how the people of Simi Valley feel about this situation that took place, the jumping and brutalization of this young teenager. And we're going to hear him speak out about it as well. So without further ado, check this out.
In a Simi Valley parking lot is leaving locals outraged. 4 juvenile suspects have been arrested.
The brawl caught on multiple cell phone videos. KCAL News reporter Lori Perez shows us the community's concerns.
Police tell us investigators were spread across Simi Valley today trying to find all of the people seen in those now viral videos. They also tell us there were actually 2 victims in this fight. It was 2 against many in what could eventually be classified as a hate crime. Multiple cell phone videos show a brutal beatdown as a group of teens chases a person, surrounding him and then attacking him from all sides, punching and hitting. This shows the moments just before, as the victim tries to stave off the crowd with a chair before making a run for it, his aggressors shouting racial slurs as they catch up with him. These videos are from Friday night, when police say they responded to the parking lot at the Regal Cinemas at about 11 p.m. on reports of a fight that had started near this fast food spot and continued down the mall sidewalk. When officers arrived, they say the main victim, an 18-year-old black teen, was gone, but they spoke with another alleged victim, a white 18-year-old, who they say at first refused to file a report. Another post of the night shows one of the alleged aggressors sitting on the hood of a Simi Valley police car and later trying to embrace an officer who rebuffs him. Simi Valley police have confirmed one of the alleged suspects is related to an employee of the department, but in a statement said that employee was not at the scene, nor will he be involved in the investigation. That relationship has no bearing on this investigation. Police say the employee's family member is cooperating, that all of the teens seen throwing punches are under 17 years old and had prior beef with the main victim. It's unclear what it stems from. A police spokesman said the investigation and the DA will determine if it amounts to a hate crime, but meanwhile the community is reacting to what many clearly see as hate. We were sent this photo, a viewer telling us someone sprayed graffiti this morning on a local mall sign. Under Simi Valley, the words, "Loves Racists." And tonight, at the site of the fight, a prayer circle. Locals coming together, asking for unity.
To just see somebody assaulted that way by so many people was really heartbreaking to know that that happened so close to home. And I just, felt broken, and I felt like if we could all come together and pray over our city, it would, be a really tremendous thing.
Police say both of the victims have now made complaints at the police department. They also say the police department employee whose family member was allegedly involved in the fight has now been receiving death threats. In Simi Valley, I'm Lori Perez, KCAL News.
A Simi Valley teen who was beaten and attacked in what some say was a racist assault is speaking out as community members demand accountability. 18-year-old Michael Robinson believes he was targeted because he is black and says he was chased by a mob of teenagers hurling racist slurs near the parking lot of a movie theater last week.
While 4 of the teens have been arrested, many in the community want the attack investigated thoroughly and the teens to be held accountable.
Rachel Menitoff live in Simi Valley with more on the ongoing investigation and the calls for justice tonight. Rachel.
Hi, good evening. The victim, Michael, tells me he's sharing his story tonight, not only for himself, but for others who have been harassed and victimized by this group. And he says the city and the police needs to take it seriously. Michael Robinson says a night out with his friends turned into this nightmare of a scene. He says a group of intoxicated, hostile teenagers started by picking on his friend with whom they had prior issues and then turned their rage on him. Robinson described their unrelenting punches, kicks, and their hurling of racial slurs.
They hit one of my friends in the face first, then they hit another. And then they come in and they rush me, and I'm in between 2 cars. I managed to get out from behind the 2 cars, and I run into the parking lot. As I get into the parking lot, they proceed to slam me into the hood of somebody's car and jump me.
From one angle, you see Robinson trying to shield himself from their blows with a chair and then took off running. He says he pleaded with a mall security guard to intervene, but the person cowered, didn't offer any kind of lifeline in his time of need.
But they still caught me, and when they caught me, they decided they were going to put my head in the trash can and proceed to hit me in the back of my head.
Several people have written into KTLA alleging this same group of white teenagers are responsible for victimizing other black and brown teenagers. Robinson's attorney, Jamal Tucson, says they're calling for an equitable investigation.
The entire county of Ventura is watching, and broadly on a national level, we are going to be looking to see how this situation is handled.
Passionate Simi Valley City Council meeting Monday night, residents echoed these demands.
What happened on Saturday is a hate crime, and I urge you to ask the DA to investigate and prosecute it as such.
Hate crimes cannot continue to be swept under the rug. On behalf of the Black student body of Simi Valley, we demand justice for Michael Robinson.
The Simi Valley Police Department confirms that 4 teens were arrested for misdemeanor battery, and that one of them is the son of a local police officer. This officer, they say, is not involved in the investigation.
I forgive them, but there's consequences to your actions. I'm not the only person. I'm fighting for most. It's not just my voice. It's many.
And the 4 teenagers have been cited and released to their parents. Because this involves juveniles, it will first go to probation, and then probation will refer the case to the district attorney's office. The DA says it hasn't yet seen the case, and therefore it can't say anything further at this point. That's the very latest in Simi Valley tonight. I'm Rachel Menitoff. Share Micah, back to you.
Rachel, thank you.
Now you see, here it is. Now, these white kids who actually started this situation, just like back in Cincinnati a couple weeks ago, are only being, charged with misdemeanor assault. And this young man suffered, a broken teeth and a concussion. Now my question is this: where is JD Vance at talking about this? Even though, hey, it happened in Simi Valley, Los Angeles. What difference does it make? It's still the streets of America where young thugs are running rampant, assaulting people. In this case, it's young white racist thugs. And they proved that and brung that, term on themselves by calling this young man racial slurs as they beat him. You see? And that's just what it is. Where are all the conservative media, platforms, Fox News and what have you, making a big issue about this particular story right here? Very few are doing it. Where are the Brandon Tatums, Anton Daniels, Candace Owens, you see, making a big deal about this particular story right here, like they did, and also Jason Whitlock, the heavyweight. You see, where are they at making a big issue about this particular story right here? Why? They missing in action. How come? Simple reason is because it was white versus black and not black versus white, where they actually beat white. That's the reason why. And those bootlicks ain't gonna show their face. That's the reason why. You see, like I said, they are already trying to give these young racist thugs a way out. Misdemeanor assault. And when in that situation that took place in Ohio, every one of those 3 to 5 so-called black folks that was involved in that fight got felony assault, probably even with intent to kill. You see what I'm saying? Charges. All right. So we already see the demographics here, right here. You know what I mean? That, hey, white can do it, it's all right. But when black do it, even if they're defending themselves, well, no, we can't have that. Racist, you know what I mean? Thugs. We can't have that. But in this situation right here, it was just some, white kids that got beside themselves, had a bad night, and then, got embroiled with a little situation with a black kid. And not to mention that one of the teenagers that was involved in this assault right here, well, his father is on the Simi Valley Police Department. You see, this is how I know this is bullshit. This case should get treated the same way Cincinnati did. You see what I mean? Those racist thugs that jumped this boy should be brung up on felony charges. Felony charges of assault. Probably with intent to kill. See, if this young man right here didn't escape with his friend in a car, guess what would have happened? He probably would have been laid up in a coma somewhere. Okay? Worse than that, probably dead. Who knows? See, the thing is this: here in this country, we already see the double standards. Complexion for the protection, and the neglection for the protection. Neglection for the protection of blacks. It's neglection. That's all there is to it. So guess what? Black people are going to have to wake up and start coming together to defend themselves against this kind of treatment, because I guarantee you it's going to ramp up. It's going to ramp up. Why? Because these racists actually see their demise, their destruction on the horizon, and it's rapidly approaching. So what they gonna do? They're gonna rage, and they're gonna act like this, and that's just what it all boils down to. So get ready, people of the book. You're gonna have to make a stand, and you're gonna have to defend yourself, and that's just what it is. That's all I got on this one, people. I want you guys to tell me what you think about this particular situation that took place in Simi Valley, Los Angeles last Friday. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. People, please remember to live your life as though we're being watched, simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.